Hello, hello, it's Danielle, aka Penny Dreadful. Happy Masters of the Universe Day. It's April 28th, so how appropriate is it that I have a sneak peek for you of Dark Horse's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Character Guide and World Compendium. Dun dun dun. Let's take a look. Alright, so as you can see here, we have all 5 of Dark Horse's wonderful books here for Masters of the Universe, and the Character Guide and World Compendium is the same height as the animated guide and the art book. However, it is longer than both of those books in terms of page numbers. This is actually just about 700 pages long, 698 pages. If you count that advertisement at the end, that's 700 pages even. So while the animated guide looks a little bit thicker, that's because it uses thicker paper stock. This is actually over 100 pages longer, I think, than this one. So let me just move this stuff out of the way, and we can take a look inside here. All right. So some nice William George artwork on the cover there, and inside here, nice William George artwork. And then we'll just continue on here. We got some beautiful Earl Norm artwork here of He-Man and Skeletor in outer space. I just want to give you a closer look at the credits here, and I will preface this by saying that so many people worked on this book that it would take me all day to sit here and tell you what each and every person did. So I will just let these names speak for themselves with some special shout-outs here. This is the Dark Horse section of the credits here. They did all the layout. They did quite a bit of restoration, proofing, and Daniel Chabon was our editor, and he was just fantastic. Dark Horse was just wonderful to work with on this project. And then we come over here to the credits page, and we see Val Staples was the project advisor and coordinator, and he managed this monumental project. There's all these people that worked on this, and all of these, just this voluminous amount of material that he handled here, and then all these people who worked so hard and were so passionate about this and just did an amazing job putting this together. I don't know who she is. She's weird. Okay, we're just gonna keep going down here. Lots and lots of very talented professional fans here who contributed to this. This is definitely, you know, a child with many parents. Let's put it that way. No one person put this together. There are people who wrote the entries for this, who did image acquisition for this, who did research for this, who did image restoration for this. I mean, it's just, it goes on and on. Revisions that they did, polishing. There were people who did consolidation, and I will give a special shout out also to Josh DeLioncourt. Josh did thousands of consolidation entries where he would take the existing entries and just revise them. And Josh is actually blind, and he used a text reader to do all of this. I'm blown away by that. So we have some more folks here who worked on it. I can't just name everybody and say what they did, because it would take forever. So you can see all their names here, all these wonderful folks who worked so hard on this. Okay. And then we have some special thanks down here. There were folks who helped us in a variety of ways. Some folks who helped us locate very obscure materials and were kind enough to share those with us, and folks who just helped out and lent a hand. Okay, so there you have it. Okay, so table of contents. This is divided into several chapters here, 7 chapters. Characters, beasts, creatures and monsters, factions, organizations, species and races, artifacts, devices and weapons, spells and magic, locations, vehicles and transportation. And then the intro to this guy that tells you a little bit about it is written by Scrollos. We actually got him to do this. It was very difficult to contact him. We used the cosmic key to open a portal into the cosmos. The one that comes with the Preternia disguise He-Man, that little toy, it actually works. So we got Scrollos to come on, and thank you, Scrollos, wherever you are, for helping us with this. And we are your loyal scribes, Scrollos. So he explains some things here, things that may have fallen through the cracks, and explaining some of the stuff, and I'll talk about that in a second. The foreword was written by Rob David, who was wonderful. Rob David works for Mattel. He is the head writer at Mattel and works on the Masters of the Universe comics from DC. He writes those comics, and Rob is a fantastic guy. He wrote the foreword here. So thanks, Rob, for doing that. And then we're going to just dive in here. I'm not not going to go through every page, obviously, no spoilers, but lots of amazing characters. So the character section here is the most substantial portion of this. It's quite long, and you got everybody in here. If there's somebody who isn't in here, it's just you know, our bad. You know, somebody may have fallen through the cracks. Hopefully, if that happened, we can do a revised edition. And this stuff started, this project started back in June of 2015. And that was I'm sorry, I keep saying image acquisition. It was asset discovery that we started out with. And that's basically research. Every person was assigned a specific canon to research. I had mini comics, for example, along with several other canons, Brazilian comics, newspaper strips, etc., and finding all of the information about the different characters and locations and beasts in that. And that took a couple months. It was like June through August that was going on. And then August through about December, the bio writing started. So the entries, we all started writing our entries and working on those. And we had lots of serious deadlines that we had to meet for this, and submitting this to Val through an FTP server. And so that continued on. And after that happened, we went into 2016. Then the consolidation happened, and that was Josh DeLioncourt started doing that, and that was basically taking everything that we all wrote, that all of the writers here on this book wrote, and then taking them and trimming them down, getting rid of extraneous information, you know, leading, as you can see here, like for example, I'll take Evelyn here. This is divided into subcanons. So you have Evelyn is the entry, and then you have these subcanons, and one of the things Josh did was kind of lead one into the other and say, unlike the Filmation canon, the mini-comics canon, etc. So we divide these down, and sometimes if a character behaved exactly the same way in one canon as they did in the other, like for example, if there was no difference between Filmation Evelyn and Evelyn in like a Brazilian comic, for example, or in an Italian comic, that sub-entry might not exist in this. If there's nothing different, it's only if there's something notably kind of different about the character or unique about the character in that canon. But there's so many sub-entries for Evelyn here, as you can see. Disguises, we had the disguises there. So yeah, so Josh started working on consolidation. He had some help there. There were lots of people that worked on that too. And then in March, we started a big proofing and revision session where everybody, all the writers kind of came together and looked at these, you know, thousands and thousands of entries. Okay, and then we made notes, corrections, additions, things that we noticed that were missing or wrong, and we made some corrections there. And then we sent that in to Dark Horse. Oh, and this is really cool here. You got a family tree. This was actually Dark Horse's idea to do a family tree, and it's tough to do a family tree with so many iterations of Masters of the Universe and Princess of Power. You know, the relationships can sometimes change, or there are cousins who exist in one canon that don't exist in another, so there's a designation for which canon this character appears in, or what their relationship is in that canon. So it's kind of cool. It's a fold out here, so we'll just put that back in. And so the big proofing session happened, and then we sent that off to Dark Horse, and then we did a small proofing session in May. We did a small proofing session. All while this is happening, image acquisition is going on. Jacob Rougemont is locating images. There's so many images in this thing. So he's locating the images and finding them. People are restoring the images as he's finding them. And so this continues on. Then revisions happen. So we do a proof, then revisions happen. We brought some more people on board to help with revision, revising the bios, adding some details in that may have been missed, etc., kind of polishing them up, so to speak, okay? And so that happens, right? And then I want to say it was June, at one point, you know, I'd noticed there were some missing things. Like the Brazilian comics were very difficult to find. The Italian comics, we had very few of those, and I really wanted to get those in there because I felt it was important to represent every version of Masters of the Universe, every country where Masters of the Universe had its own stories. So you know, I really sought out these Italian comics, found them. I had help finding the Brazilian comics of Nuno Mata and Marcelo Barbosa, really helpful in finding some of this stuff. So we were able to get those entries in there as well. let me see here. We keep flipping through here. Merman. And then, so around May through October of 2016, Dark Horse started doing the layout for this. Sorry, that's my dog. May through October, Dark Horse started doing the layout for this thing. All right, so they started putting this together, all the images and the banners, and dividing the subcanons up here. And so then we got that back in October, PDF files. Then the next round of proof, this was a smaller round of proofing with a tighter group of people proofing. There's Skeletor. This is the longest entry in the book, actually. Skeletor. He-Man is second longest, I think, but Skeletor is pretty long. Here, there we go. I'm gonna flip back and Shadow Weaver. Pretty spooky. I gotta show you the spooky ones because, of course, I do. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna continue on. The She-Ra. I was looking for She-Ra too. All right, and then I'm going to flip through here. Okay, so we got these PDFs in October. We're proofing these PDFs. We send that back in. We send some new entries in around that time, too, like some very final last entries. I think there were some of the Italian ones and Brazilian ones that went in. And then Dark Horse took everything, put it together, and then in January of 2017, we did a final proof session on this. And sent in some minor notes here, things that needed to be fixed. We're into the beasts here now, and so you can see that. So I'm just kind of giving you some sneak. There are some sneak peeks at some things in here that you may not have seen yet too. Haha, Havoc Staff. Okay, I'm just flipping through some kind of obscure artifacts here, like every artifact you ever wanted to know about should be in here. Locations, let's flip to that. Spells, we got the spells here. Mystic Manacles. Some of the spells we had to name because we didn't have names for them. Speaking of which, characters that were unnamed, that never had an official name, that were only named in, say, Q&As and things like that, did not make it into the book. They may be referenced in other entries, perhaps, but those were not included. We could concepts, we could not include those. Only things that are official canon, we made it in here. So let's see, Avion. These are the locations. Locations was a pretty long section too. There are a lot of locations in the world of Masters of the Universe. New Adventures. Wacky Martin from Masters Cast, he wrote those. Turn Towers. All right. I'm gonna just kind of flip through Primus. There's King Hiss's butt. You can see it. Scaly butt of King Hiss. Snake Mountain. Pretty substantial entry for Snake Mountain there. You can kind of take a look here and see all the cool Snake Mountain stuff. Flip on through here. Now, I want to say one thing here before I end this video. This book happened because of fans, not only fans who worked on it, but fans who wanted it. This book was not on the list of the books Dark Horse was considering. It was just not on the list because of all the write-ins that people did for a He-Man encyclopedia or guide. Dark Horse paid attention to that. They saw that and they said, wow, a lot of people really want this, and this is why this happened. It was 100% because fans wanted it and demanded it, and there you have it. It now exists thanks to you. Just go to the end here. There's He-Man and his scuba tack. He's gonna go for a swim. There's the end of the book. The Zoom Chariot. Zoom Chariot is the last entry. All right, last entry in the book. There you go. And then we have the advertisement. So you can see 698 pages. And then if we count the advertisement here, let's say we got 700 pages. Come on, let's just make it even here. And there's some more nice William George artwork. Holy moly. And there it is. So whether you want the book or you just want to exercise by lifting the book and over and over again because you can get a pretty good workout doing this. All right, guys, so there it is. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Character Guide and World Compendium is out this May 2017. You can pick it up online at Amazon. You can get it through the He-Man.org link. There's a link right to Amazon there. You can get it at your local comic book store. It comes out a little bit earlier at the comic book store, earlier in the month, and then it'll be out in all over the place toward the end of May. I think it's May 10th and May 24th. Could be wrong about those dates, but if I am, that's okay. You can look it up. All right, take care. Good journey.